Hi everyone, I have no idea when I will upload this, but it will come out one way or another. Now, normally I don't tend to make these kinds of moral essays because when it comes to fandom discourses, I don't really give a shit. If you want to be an elitist about your favorite series, I honestly don't care that much. It's your series, do whatever the fuck you want to do to tarnish your community's reputation. As long as it's entertaining to read, maybe I'll even enable this behavior just a little bit for my own personal amusement. But one thing that I can't stand is when people don't have any self-awareness, but still want to take the moral high ground. Now, there's this video game based off of Bleach that was announced, I believe over a month ago. I haven't really been keeping up with this game because, I'm gonna be honest, when it comes to anime games, my new approach is the following. Wait for reviews, and if it's on sale, maybe I'll get it below 10 bucks. I haven't really had time to play video games recently, and I'm certainly not going to pay full price for any upcoming video game when I know it's just gonna go straight to my backlog. Now, Bleach, the series, is you know what, I'm not gonna talk about Bleach, at least not right now, maybe later in the video. I first want to explain what even inspired me to make this video. So, Globeku made a reaction video to one of the trailers, I believe, and there was apparently some controversy that stemmed from the fact that the game uses certain Bleach-specific terminologies to describe some mechanics and meter systems. Now, this isn't a new concept. For example, possibly one of my favorite games ever, Idol Showdown. They use the term collab to describe character assists, clearly a reference to VTuber collaborations. So I don't think Bleach is doing anything particularly wrong by using unique terms. In fact, it gives the game its own unique identity. Now, where the issue mainly lied was the fact that Bleach is using terms that are a little bit too unique, like reishi and konpaku. Now, I'm just going to set up front that I don't have any particular opinion in regards to this. These names seem fine to me, but I can kind of see how other people might have a harder time remembering or identifying the meaning of those words. And for a content creator like Goku, whose job is to communicate with his audience, having terms like reishi to describe a health bar might not be the easiest thing to catch on for someone who might be new to the game. And it's just hearing someone spewing out a bunch of words that they don't understand. Now, as someone that spent years watching power scaling YouTube videos where people were vomiting out a bunch of nerdy, crazy terms for power systems in different series unapologetically, I'm personally not bothered by these terminologies being used in the game. I think I would be able to catch on pretty quickly, but in essence, Globeku has been getting pushback from Bleach fans because he was accused of not doing enough research and that he should have looked up the meaning of these terminologies in order to have better context, and that he was overblowing this issue because, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of games, especially anime fighting games, use terms unique to the series. Now, if you ask me, I think this is one of the stupidest dramas to exist. The fact that we're talking about what terminologies people are going to use is so stupid, because if you've been around in the FGC community, you will know that people constantly repurpose well-established terminologies all the time. People are not going to stop saying health because the game chose to name it something else. And you're just gonna have to fucking accept that. You can bitch all day, but when we're talking about a community that has existed for decades with a years-long glossary that everyone uses, that everyone understands, you're not going to fucking change that. If you find an event commentator out there doing a live broadcast of a Bleach tournament, they're probably going to say health bar. And that's fine. It really doesn't matter. Now, the reason for why I made this video is because I tweeted out saying that this was just a bunch of bullshit gatekeeping behavior that's really dumb. Now, I got a reply from someone saying that there was no gatekeeping. They were just calling out Globeku for not knowing basic terms from Bleach. Now, I find this to be completely disingenuous. Bleach fans have been gatekeeping their series for years at this point, and you're never gonna convince me otherwise, because I've seen it all throughout these years. Now, I'm gonna share you all a little bit of a backstory. Once upon a time, Bleach was an incredibly popular series. In fact, it still is. However, over the course of its run, the critical reception dropped quite a bit, and it got to the point where it became common consensus that Bleach was the worst amongst the big three. Everyone was shitting on Bleach. But then, something kind of funny happened. We started hearing rumors. Potentially, Bleach was going to come back in anime form because the last arc was never animated, And around the time when this shit became official, because previously it was just a bunch of leaks from one person in particular that people weren't really believing, but eventually he was vindicated. Regardless, once it became official, there was a bit of hype. In fact, some of the people who were at one point shitting on Bleach were also showing excitement, and that's where the real gatekeeping arose. Because Bleach fans created this underdog slash ostracized narrative in which they're acting as if for the longest time they were repressed, and now that the series is popular again, it's their time to shine. It's their time to say, I told you so. Where were you when the series was at its lowest point in popularity? You're just a fake fan who's pretending to like Bleach for the clout. Just a bunch of self-victimization, main character syndrome bullshit to essentially just make themselves feel validated for openly liking this series for years. And look, I get it, like it's not easy to openly like a series that everyone's making fun of, but to me this is still really dumb because they're not really helping the series by doing this. Like, Taite Kubo doesn't give a shit if some dipshit on the internet was making fun of Bleach in 2016 and decided to like the series in 2022. Neither does Shueisha nor Bandai Namco. They don't care! You know what they do care? People buying their fucking copies. That's all they care. Even if Bleach ended up attracting the most plebeian, ill-informed normies, if that means that they're making more money, they're not gonna fucking complain about it. So at the end of the day, this gatekeeping, oh, I'm sorry, it's not gatekeeping, it's quote-unquote calling out people who shat on Bleach then became Bleach fans when it became announced. Oh, so you mean that there are people out there that stopped liking Bleach almost a decade ago and are regaining interest in recent times? So you're telling me that people who grew up with the series probably saw Ichigo when they were still shitting on diapers would still have some semblance of interest in the series even after they stopped liking it almost half a decade ago? Wow! What a fucking novel concept. It's almost as if Bleach was a part of many people's childhoods, and obviously people are going to inherently have some amount of interest in the series. What a fucking novel concept. Which is why I feel like this gatekeeping, and yes, I'm gonna call it gatekeeping because that's exactly what it is just self-fulfilling. There's nothing else to it. This doesn't really accomplish anything. It doesn't make people want to consume Bleach more. And like I said at the beginning, I wouldn't even care if people were at least honest about their elitism. Because look, I've dealt with anime elitists throughout my entire time in the anime community. You just learn to live with it. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's obnoxious, and hey, maybe once in a while, I might act a little bit elitist myself. But what drives me insane is the lack of self-awareness. It's this self-pity narrative that Bleach fans have, which to me just seems really pointless. Look, I don't have any stake in the battle of the big three, but if I had to pick one that was the most meaningful to me, it's definitely Naruto. Do you know how many times I've seen people shit on Naruto for going downhill after Shippuden? Do you know how many times I've seen people call Sasuke and the entire Uchiha clan a group of emo boys? Do you know what I do in response to that? Nothing! You know what I do every time I see people getting hyped up every time Naruto and Sasuke do something cool in Boruto? Nothing! I don't care! If they don't like Naruto, it's their problem. It's not a big deal. Kishimoto doesn't need my help to white knight his series. He's making enough money with manga copies and merchandise still being produced and sold till this day. It doesn't matter. Dude, we're talking about one of the most successful series, not successful anime, successful series of all time. It's stupid for me to feel the urge to white knight and quote-unquote call out fake fans or argue with people online on whether or not their thematic interpretation of the series based on one fight that stopped being relevant after the arc ended. I'm not gonna fucking achieve anything by doing that. So I just do the sensible thing and mind my own fucking business. And you should do the same. Anyway, that's all I have to share. Take care.